Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, where did I put everything? We are excited to be here. Happy Monday. Happy June. Happy, I don't know, happy if you finished the book.
Right?
We will be discussing the book of Azrael.
Oh, that was great.
If you weren't awake before, I hope you are now.
You are now.
Um, The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. Yeah, of course, the long books I read on my Kindle, and then it's so deceiving on how long they are.
Yeah.
Um, but if you guys read the book and finished it, use a skull emoji, or just tell us if you read it. Otherwise, leave a sad face if you're here to say hi and support us before we get into spoilers, if you didn't read it. But I finished yesterday, which I was like, "A whole day ahead? What is this?" Um, but I felt like Friday and Saturday, all I did was read because this book was 21 hours with the
Dude.
audio, which
Yeah.
it was 491 pages, which doesn't seem that long to me, but it was a big book.
That's crazy. I would have started it sooner if I would have seen the physical book. You know what I mean?
I was gonna
Like,
say, April, would you
yeah.
like to tell everyone
No,
when you finished?
I finished 5 minutes ago.
But she finished. She
I
finished.
finished. I did
Sh
it. I
She
literally
texted
did
me
it.
last night where she was, and I was like, "I will be on my own." So I'm
Yeah.
actually so proud that you
I got
finished on time.
I got off work at like 4 o'clock and I was like, I have to go home. I have exactly enough time to finish it. And I started like I'm not a fast listener either. Like I have to be at like 2.5. And so by maybe 30 minutes ago, I was finally got creeped up to 3.25. I'm like, I have to stay focused. I have to stay focused or else I'm not gonna finish.
That's when you texted me. You were at 275, and I was like, "I know that's fast for you."
Yes, that's so fast. But but the narrator was so good. Like it was, and the story is, we can get more into it later, but the story was so easy to follow at that moment in time. There wasn't like technically world building, so I was just listening to the story and
Mm.
tandem reading, so it helped. But whew, my brain is overloaded.
She's like, "I just ran a race to get here, but you
Literally.
finished,
Yes,
and
it
that's
finished.
all that matters."
Yes.
Hi, Tina. I am also super proud of Tina because, oh my gosh, when I polled everyone yesterday, I was like, "I fear that there will not be many of us."
Right.
'Cause it was a long book, and there were so many, like, big readathons this last month,
Hmm.
and I mean, it's like the start of summer, it's not summer yet, but, like, kids are either finishing school like, starting summer break, gardening, if you're into that, like, is all taking up, and that takes so much of your time, so I can only imagine what it was like for everybody else because
Oh
I read 20 books last month, and trying to
my
squeeze
gosh.
this in was a struggle.
That's crazy.
And I was listening at 3.25, like, the whole time
Oh.
while tandem reading,
Mm.
and it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why is this book so long?
Right.
I
Right.
don't want it to end, but why is it so long?"
Yeah.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you for joining. Yes, the skull. I finished just in time. Oh my gosh, I
That's awesome.
feel like we were all so determined, and I'm so proud of everybody.
Yeah.
I finished about 15 minutes ago. See, it's
That's
perfect
awesome.
timing. I know, like, when I finished, I texted April, I was like, "I think I'm gonna finish tonight," and then I took a break, and then I finished last night. I'm gonna forget
Oh,
the whole book tomorrow. We'll
right.
we'll see how much I remember when we discuss it.
Oh. Hi,
Wendy,
Wendy.
and Wendy has read this prior, so she
Mm.
was the only one in the safe zone. She's like, "I read this months ago." Beth, so excited. Already started book 2. All I could think about was Beth with this series because Beth is like, "You always find series that are unfinished." And this has at least 4 books out, or 3 books. The 4th book comes out this year. I mean, it's not until
Ooh.
later, but that's a good chunk if they're all this size, you
If
know?
they're all this size, yeah, holy moly.
I finished 1 minute ago. This
I'm
has to be,
glad I'm
like, a
not the only
record of how
one.
many people, like, finished less than a half an hour before the discussion. I am so proud of you. The fact that you started yesterday is insane.
Girl. Oh my gosh. I can't even.
Ins Read it in January and loved it. I know. Y'all are procrastinators.
Listen.
I
Listen,
I
Linda.
can say that because I finished a whole day. The only reason I think I started Wednesday. The only reason I started somewhat earlier is because I knew it was a long book. When I saw the 21 hours, I was like, "Oh, my Kindle is lying." This is why I can't read Kindle books when I, like, have a designated time because it is deceiving.
That's so funny. Ah,
So many of
yes.
you. It was a race we were all running, and look at all of
Oh my
us. I'm so
gosh.
proud of everybody. Thank you for starting 4 minutes late, I needed that. Yeah, uh, I had to switch to my Wi-Fi because it was glitching really bad, so it was perfect because now I feel like it's working so much better, and it was all for you guys, so we could all catch our breath to
Uh-huh.
be
Yeah.
here. Listen, my daughter got married yesterday, oh my gosh,
Oh,
congratulations to her, and I'm
that's
so
awesome.
exhausted. So
Yeah.
today, all I did was lay on the couch and read and didn't do anything else. Well, I'm so glad that you started, like, enough before that you were able to finish today and you were able to, veg out after that. What a crazy weekend. Oh my gosh. I just read all weekend. Now I don't feel like I didn't have to go through the trenches like some of you guys. Yes, 3 books are already out. And then I keep on thinking, like, the 4th, but the 4th will be out in October.
Nice.
Listen.
Listen. Correct.
So I will have them done by June and be mad at you again. I know.
That's
I
funny.
don't know if the 4th one is the last one of the series or not. I'm not sure. But at least it wouldn't be that long. I know, I
Right.
keep telling myself I'm gonna read right away, and then I'm like, "Let's be real. Let's be real. I'm gonna put it off until, like, a month or 2 before the 4th one comes out and hope I remember what the heck happened." For sure. Okay. Well, since we're all here, we can catch our breaths. We can talk about this fun book. We can talk about how long it is.
Breathe.
Deep breaths. But I wanna know what your guys' ratings are. What are your thoughts? All the things. I read 31 books in 31 days for May, and when it hit June, I went, "I can finally take a break," and then saw the Book of Azrael discussion on June 2nd.
Surprise!
Hey,
Oh
I'm
my
just
gosh.
thankful we pushed this back a week because
Yeah.
originally we were gonna have it, the Monday before, and then we're like, "No, no, we're just gonna scooch that back," and I am so glad we did.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I think I read somewhere it's supposed to be 7. Oh,
Wow. Oopsies.
sorry.
Hey, but
At least
we want to inspire you to read. So, we're going to do that. We need to get you hooked in a world so you'll keep going.
that is that's a lot of books. I love long series, but also that I feel like nowadays everything's either a duology or a trilogy, and then
Yeah.
after that, like, books stop. I mean, minus, like, ACOTAR and stuff like that, but, I mean, we're still waiting on ACOTAR 6, but
Right.
that's crazy, like, 7
Oof.
books? Yeah, that's a lot. Tina did 4.5 or 5.
Awesome.
Wendy did
Yeah.
5. Beth did 4.5. Oh my gosh. I marked it 5 stars on Goodreads. Can't decide if it's a full 5 or slightly lower, but I absolutely loved it.
Mhm.
I totally understand. I don't need 20 different worlds though, April.
So funny. But you need adventure. I mean, you gotta have adventure. Sure.
It's like, I mean, one world is so boring, and
Right.
then so we have, like, one fantasy world, and then, we just keep adding all of
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
4.5. I'm glad to be having 7 books of amazingness. I I just am like, how what does that follow? Is it
What's it
gonna
gonna
follow different
go?
characters? Like, different that we could discuss that later. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking need to decompress, but between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Mhm.
April, do you wanna give your rating?
I'm at a 5, but that's a duh. Like, it's I'm 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 shocked. I yeah, there's a lot. And I wanna pick up the next book, like, right now because I need to know, like, is this
Right?
real? Like, is this the end? Like, obviously not, there's 7 books. Anyways, yeah. So, I'm at a 5.
Okay, so, like, when I first started reading, I will be honest, I had a hard time, like, getting, like, sucked into it. There was a lot of world building in the beginning, um, but then once I got sucked in, I was like, "Oh, I'm here. I'm
Mhm,
here. I don't wanna leave." So, originally, I was, like, at a 4, but I think I'm at, like, a 4.5. I don't think
mhm.
it's a full 5 stars yet, but I kind of feel like there was so much stuff in the beginning that if I were to reread and continue,
Yeah,
it would turn into a 5
right.
because, like,
Yeah,
things would click better. Like
right.
I said, I read 20 books, and I know
Mhm.
that's not as much as 31 like some overachievers here, but, that is substantially like, that's, like, double what I read, and
Mhm.
so that could also it could have been a timing thing, when you first
Yeah.
start a book, it's so hard, especially with a fantasy that has a lot of lore, crazy names, different universes, like, stuff like that. It is hard to, like, comprehend. To me, I really kind of felt like it was Crescent City. If anybody's, like, read Crescent City, I don't really know what was going on the first little bit, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm just here. I'm just I'm here for the ride. I don't understand anything. I'm slightly confused at all these people and what they have to do with anything in these worlds, and oh my gosh, the names and the fact that so many people have 2 names. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
1 is hard enough.
That was
2."
confusing at first. I'm like, "Wait."
But then afterwards, I was, like, putting it together. I didn't even have to look at my cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I I totally after that was like, "This is so good. So good."
Mhm.
Um She is shooketh.
Literally, I don't even know.
Oh, sorry. That was skooketh,
Skooketh.
but then shooketh.
Mm,
I ate this up. It was better than Quicksilver for you? I will also agree it was better than
I will
Quicksilver.
agree with that too. Now, I know for a fact that I need to reread Quicksilver because for whatever reason, I remember nothing.
Do you know
Like,
what's really funny?
nothing.
Is that Quicksilver is the other book what was the other book that you didn't finish on time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that's probably why I was just like, I just okay.
Yeah, I think I definitely got overhyped with it. That's one I wanna reread because I
Yeah.
think I would like it more, but Matt is gonna finish it soon, so he's been talking about Quicksilver more, so then I've
Oh,
been like,
good.
"Oh, yeah." But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this more than, Quicksilver, but I think it has to do with certain tropes that I just prefer.
Mhm.
And without being super spoilery, this one was more of a slow burn, and I like slow burns.
Mhm. Mhm.
Psh, Wendy. Yes. Said what I said. Tina's got my back. I had a really hard time, until about chapter 20th, then I started to get into it. Yeah, I don't remember what chapter it was. I feel like until, like, Logan was I feel like until, like, the whole, like, heist happened where
Mhm.
Diana, like, got, like, set free with Logan, but then she decided to save Logan,
Mhm.
then after that, I was, like,
Yeah.
committed.
Yeah.
But before then, I was like, "I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I like anybody. I'm so confused," but better than Abby for
Oh!
sure.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're comparing apples to
Yes.
oranges right now, and that's
Correct.
just you can't do that.
No.
Now, if Abby were to write a fantasy, then we could talk. Then we
Right.
could talk.
Yes.
Reminded me of Crescent City, and I don't know if that was because it was an urban, more modern fantasy, especially at the beginning, but it was just like, "Oh, world building, boom, right in your face," and you're like, "I
Oh.
don't know what's happening."
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I mean, I like it. I was a
Mhm.
little confused at the beginning, and then it was like,
Yes.
"Who the heck is Liam?" Yes.
I thought the same thing because I was like, "Wait, do I know this guy?" And I was like, "I don't know.
I
Who
the
cares?"
multiple names really threw me for a while, and
Mhm.
then the fact that they're like, obviously, it's called the Gods and Monsters series, but, like, learning what magic certain people can do and what other people can't do, and some are
Mhm.
mortal, and some are immortal, and some can shapeshift, and some can't, and some are more
Mhm.
powerful, and some are weak, and it's like, "Okay, I don't
Mhm.
understand anything." Uh, his name
Mhm.
but it wasn't. I mean, we did get an explanation, and he wasn't the only one that had multiple names, and I feel like that has to play along with, like, the longer storyline of things,
Mhm.
but also I was like, "Liam." I okay. I looked up fan art because I just struggle picturing people and characters in books, and I will say the main characters look nothing like what I pictured. Liam, I picture as Liam from Fourth Wing, even though I know it's not. They just the
Right.
name triggers that face. Completely different personalities, completely different, but all I could picture was a blonde-haired, like, cutie, and he's not. He has dark hair. This Liam has dark hair.
That's funny.
I've only read the first Crescent City, but that it was like it felt so much like that.
Right.
Like, call him Sam for short. Well, that's what I was confused about too. I was like, "What's wrong with the name Sam?" Like, I'm gonna take this personally right
Right.
now. But he wanted a whole new identity, I guess. Lava Quicksilver.
That's
That was just
funny.
a 4-star for me. Same. Same, Tina. We have very similar tastes. For me, Quicksilver was better, but this was close. I mean, now we can, like, start comparing second books soon
Right.
when, Brimstone comes out. I
Mhm.
just think the plot is amazing in this one, yes. And there's so much unknown, and
Mhm.
I like that. I
Yeah.
do like being confused, even though I just complained about that and why I knocked it down a little bit because I was so confused in the beginning. That's funny that you say that because I felt this one went from
Mm.
enemies to lovers straight to love.
It's because you read it so fast.
Yeah, you read it in one day. Obviously, that was like, shoop. I had to go from, like, Wednesday to Saturday from
And
enemies to lovers.
yeah, I was Sunday. I started Sunday night and then finished Monday, like last Sunday. Like,
Mhm.
so I had a week and a day.
It didn't transition as much as I wanted, but I still loved it. Girl, it transitioned way faster than Quicksilver or way slower than Quicksilver. Like, I thought I was like, I honestly didn't think that they were gonna end up together by the
Mhm.
end of it with how slow it was going, so that's hilarious. I did struggle a little bit more starting this too, but I think it was a little bit
Yeah.
burnout from Mystery and Mayhem, and I haven't read that much so quickly in a really long time. Yeah, and I feel like what a book that we decided to pick, and all these readathons are going on, and
Yeah.
everyone's, like, hardcore trying to get points.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
hindsight.
and that last whatever, it was for a black cover and I'm like, because we could have gotten a bonus points for a black cover and nature. And
Mhm.
yeah, I was only at like 40%. It wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, wh I turned in 4 books the last day of Mystery and Mayhem,
Oh
and I
my
was like, "I'm
gosh.
done.
Yeah.
I'm reading this for myself."
Yeah, Wendy cracked me up on the last, sprints. I wasn't, like, in the comments much, but she was cracking me up because she was just like, "I'm not reading tonight. I'm not submitting points. I'm done. I'm just gonna watch YouTube." It was so funny. Uh,
Aw. I don't believe her, though. She read so many books.
yeah.
It took 2 days to become lovers for you.
That's funny.
Quicksilver was, like, 5 seconds. I feel like everyone here has read it, so it's okay. 'Cause that was not enemies to lovers. I mean, it was like, "Oh, we dislike each other. Oh, we're hooking up. Oh, just kidding, we caught feelings." Listen, I'm so burnt out, and I'm in another readathon now. I
Oh,
know, I saw
no.
that the Amazing Readathon just
Oh,
started, and I was like, "Ah, I can't. I really want to, but I can't." I'm so dumb.
I'm so done.
You're committed to this community,
Yes,
and
yeah,
we're very thankful for it.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. We'll keep going on. These are pretty basic questions because I just feel like we're all like, we're here. We're just gonna talk about whatever we want, bring up whatever we want. What did you think about an urban like modern fantasy? Because this is the first time we've done like an any type of, like, urban I mean,
Yeah,
it was urban to a certain extent. Sometimes they
yeah,
were, like, in the middle of nowhere, sometimes they were in a city, but the modern fantasy, I would forget sometimes.
yeah,
There's so few urban fantasies that it often takes me aback when all of a sudden they're like, "And they had a gun, and they pulled out a
right.
phone," and I'm like, "What?" I don't know why, when I think of fantasy, I think medieval, like
Mhm,
Renaissance,
mhm,
all that, and, like, yeah, sometimes they have magical powers that they can, like, transport or they can, like, call or summon or communicate, different stuff like that, but when they're like, "I picked up a phone and guns and bullets and, oh, we went to the club," it's like, it just takes me a minute to
mhm,
rewrite my brain, but I really liked it. I was thankful for, like, it being that
mhm,
different,
mhm,
and I liked that there was, like, such complex world, like, the universe. I still don't quite understand it, but, like, Liam's world and, like, how he destroyed his home
mhm,
and, like, the prophecies and what that means, um, I loved and I think okay, so, like, the big thing I love about urban fantasies is they love to have, like, all the creatures.
mhm,
I mean, you get a lot of creatures in other fantasies, but for whatever reason, whenever it's, like, modern, they're like, all the creatures are all cohabitating. But I guess in this case, they were all in, like, different worlds, and then they thought some were dead and some weren't because they were sealed off, and I don't know, but I really enjoyed that.
yeah. I was I didn't know going into it that it was gonna be set in, like, urban. Like, I didn't so, like, same thing, like, a gunshot went off, and I'm like, "Wait a second. Why? Why is there a gun? What is happening?" I did read, or I've started the series, The Lunar Chronicles, which,
Mhm.
of course, going into it, you know that they're cyborgs. You know that they're, technology. But to have my mind set on like I was in Akatar and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden there's a gun and a phone and cars.
Cars, yeah.
I'm like, wait a second, we need dragons and griffins and wyvern to transport us, not cars and
But then
planes.
but then also, like, Diana was a shapeshifter,
Yeah,
so, like, she's like, "Oh, yeah, I can,
she
but
can
right
just
now I
fly.
can't."
Right. So
So
it was a cool mix up to throw into the genres that I've read. So I appreciate it, but I did get a whiplash quite a few times.
yeah, I don't know why, especially in the beginning. By the end, it didn't bother me, and then, like, we
Yeah,
have the carnival and, like, all that kind of
right.
stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I love this," but if you woulda asked me if that was gonna be on my bingo card for this book, not even and,
Mm-mm.
like, the cover
Yeah.
says nothing like it,
Nope.
so I think that also, you go in getting the vibe from the cover, and
Mhm.
once you're in it, you're like, That is not what I pictured, but I'm
Yeah.
not mad.
And everything I was expecting everything to be dark because of the cover. So, like,
Mhm.
I wasn't expecting the humor. I wasn't expecting the lightheartedness that was thrown in there a lot, and
Well,
so I
in, like, the
appreciated it.
slang and, like,
Yeah.
the modern slang, and Diana, oh my gosh, some of the stuff she said, I was like,
Yeah.
it's so modern
Mhm.
that it takes you by surprise. Cause yeah, you get that, but not to her level, I feel
Right.
like.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
way she just said stuff, I was like, "This is how people talk. This is
Right.
how."
Yeah.
And so that also, like, threw me off because they're not, saying things
Mhm.
properly, but Liam did, and I kinda liked it
Yes.
was like the old versus
The
new.
contrast, because he was like,
Yeah.
"What does that mean? What do you
Yes.
mean by that? What?" And then his friend's shocked because he started talking, all modern and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah,
"Where'd you learn that word?"
he dropped the F-bomb, and he's
Yeah,
like and then when they would use it when Diana would use it in different contexts, he's like, "What does that mean?"
which
And I loved that.
it was great.
This was definitely different for me. The world was crazy. It took a minute to understand, but I was here for it. Agreed.
Mhm.
I like urban fantasy, but I think it's just the second book series that I've read that is urban
Yeah,
fantasy. I read 3 Crescent City books, but I can't think of any other urban books right now. So, I mean, I think Tress of the Emerald Sea
yeah,
would be considered, like, somewhat not urban, but modern. Like, it's kind of like
mhm,
there's, like, moon worlds with, like, technology, but it still doesn't have, like,
right,
this far advanced.
mhm,
Um, I read Filthy Rich Fae, which is Filthy Rich Fae, I feel like the title is just not doesn't do it any justice, but it to me was like a modern ACOTAR,
mm.
almost to a T, and I actually really loved it. So, I don't know. If you like, when everyone talked about Crescent City, I was like, "I'm gonna hate this," and I loved it,
Mhm,
and now that I read another, like, urban modern fantasy, I'm like, "Maybe I like this more than I thought I would."
mhm,
Because it's kind of like magic realism, I guess, like,
yeah,
it's our world, but now we have all these creatures and magic and craziness going on, even though it's not our world, because still don't quite understand this world.
yeah,
I've only read Crescent City 1 and didn't understand most of it, and so I'm gonna reread it. I felt like it was easier to understand for me than Crescent City 1. See, that's how I felt with in the beginning of Crescent City, and then after, like, a quarter of it, then I was like it was how okay, this is where Matt thinks I'm weird.
mhm,
So, like, I loved math in high school, like, math, especially algebra and Algebra 2, I loved it. And I would go to bed, and if I'd be stuck on a, like, problem, I would think about it until I fell asleep. And then you know how when you would just, like, magically make up and you would have, like, an epiphany and it would all, like, work itself out? That's how Crescent City was for me. Like, I just went to bed, didn't understand it, and then magically it all came together, and I
that's
understood it.
funny.
And that's how I felt with that book. Just
I did not like math, and I never had one of those epiphanies. I just was thankful that I passed the test when I did.
I loved math.
But I do get the feeling though, that you're like, "Oh yeah, that makes
Like,
sense."
or you're just like, you have a problem and you don't know how you're gonna
Yeah,
work it out, and then, like, you just get that epiphany. That's
yeah,
how that's how Crescent City was
yep.
for me. That's kind
That's
of how
funny.
this book was too, even though if you were to ask me questions about the different worlds and stuff, I'd be like, "Yeah, just kidding, I don't know
Yeah.
anything. I
Mhm.
lied." I like that they use Liam as a way to learn the modern word for us.
That's funny. Mhm.
I really liked it. Most of the fantasies I've read that even had a modern spin are ones that start in the modern world and then shift more to medieval
Yeah.
world. Yeah, it was such a fun new take. I really, really liked it. When it is urban but a different planet, it still feels very fantasy for me, yes. Or are only fantasies that have vampires. Yes. What? Why is that?
Yeah, I
Why
don't
is
know.
that? I mean, yeah, because now thinking back, Twilight, I mean, that was
Twilight.
set in
Yeah.
but that was, like, more magic realism
Mhm.
where yeah, you do have all these creatures, but it's
Mhm.
werewolves and
Yeah.
vampires.
But
It's
then maybe
basic.
because the stories of, like, original vampires, they're living amongst the real world.
That's
They're not
true.
in somewhere else. They're in Transylvania.
They're not in a fey portal in
Right,
the middle of
right.
the woods that you can go
Yeah.
to. Oh, yeah, I guess
Mhm.
even, like, The Cruel Prince would also
Yeah.
be one.
Yeah, that's true. And think
I
about that.
forget about that too. I'm gonna think about this, I'll be like, "Actually, I've read quite a few now."
Right.
But I love them all.
Mhm.
Using Liam to help explain the
Yeah.
world really helped, yes, because they threw so much at us in the beginning.
Yeah.
I loved the humor of introducing Liam to the modern world, yes.
Yeah.
You have to read House of Bane and Blood,
Mm,
gangster fantasy.
that's
Ooh,
funny.
I'll have to add that to my list, my poor list. I'm reading a lot of fantasy this month, and I'm like, "I need palate cleansers." Oh, wait, Blood of Hercules, I don't know how I forgot about that. I love that one. You
Mhm.
reminded me because Alexis, the main character, loves math.
Oh, funny.
I have not read Blood of Hercules yet, but, that is also one that I've been, like, itching to get at. I've heard a lot of really good things. I loved math too, Sam. I took Algebra 3 in high school
Oh,
just because I
gross.
loved it.
Y'all are weird.
Okay,
But
I was not good at geometry. I don't
mm,
know why when it comes to, like, angles and stuff, I'm not good, but algebra, I loved
yeah,
algebra, and I loved algebra in college, and I loved math. I loved solving problems that I could like, they're solvable problems,
that's funny.
unlike my real problems. Just kidding. My job is math. Woo!
Oh, that's fun.
I will not talk about my math, issue today. I had conversion problems,
Oh
but it
gosh.
was mostly because I thought I converted something from inches to millimeters when in fact I did the whole project and not just one object. And so something that was supposed to be like this big was actually like this big.
Oh no.
And it wasn't until I printed on my 3D printer that I was like,
No.
I made a mistake. Geometry and trigonometry were fine. Algebra can kick rocks. See, it
Absolutely.
must be one or the other because
Yeah.
Matt with basic math sometimes is so funny.
Mhm.
We joke in my relationship with my husband, Matt, is one time he was like, life isn't always 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-20." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, sometimes, like, you do 60, I do 20." And I was like, "Where's the other 20?" And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "60 plus 20 is 80." And
Oh my gosh.
he literally didn't even realize it. Now, when it comes to geometry, when it's like a dirt bike ramp and,
Yeah.
like, you have to go so far for another
He's got it.
amazing. He can figure it out. And I was just like so our joke now is, like, anytime we feel like one person is doing more than the other, we're like, 60-20, 60-20.
That's funny.
I don't math. I just
Mhm.
don't. I mean, hey, I use a calculator for everything now, and I mean, Google is my best friend. I go to sleep all the time and dream about math problems.
That's
This is
so
why
funny.
we're friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But fractions are the worst. Matt and I just had a big fraction talk too. I don't mind them. Sometimes they, like, catch me, and then I'm like, "Oh, I just gotta figure it out," and then it's good. Matt was struggling the other day. The bane of your existence.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. I love Matt. He's a goob. He's gotten better with math, but there's sometimes I knew what you meant. He's great at, hypotenuse. That he is. And I don't know why. There's just some things, like, with geometry that I understood it to a point, and then I didn't.
Mhm.
But
My dad is a roofer, so and a general contractor. So he's the one that helped me with geometry, and he basically taught me or helped me with my geometry homework by
mhm.
houses. Like he was like, "So if your roof is like this and it's got this pitch, then this and this and this." So a practical visual learning, it is what he turned it into.
Which, I mean, is so helpful. I mean, Matt did roofing too, but that's
Yeah.
and then I mean, yeah, he's a handyman, right? So,
Right.
he likes
Yep.
that kinda stuff.
Yeah.
But I know he started with dirt bikes and, like well,
Yes.
and BMX stuff, 'cause
Mhm.
he found out, like, the hard way if you have a ramp too much or whatever, and, like, you need this angle, and then I don't know, he can figure all that out. I'm like, "That sounds
Uh,
scary."
yeah.
To be fair, I felt like some of this book was very technical with stuff. Maybe not so much math.
That's awesome.
But, okay. To continue, what did you think of Diana, and what did you think about Liam? I made the comment that Diana is, like, considered actually, like, a tall female, and that made me so happy. So happy. Um, I mean, and Liam's still taller because obviously the guys always have to be taller, but I
Mhm.
do appreciate when females are taller,
Mhm.
because normally they're like, 5 foot nothing, and I'm like, "I'll just pretend I'm little."
Right. That's funny.
Um, but, I mean, Diana was as to quote the book, which was a bit repetitive with crass
Mhm.
and crude, she, I feel like, is obviously similar to a lot of the female leads, but I also feel like she was pretty different
Mhm.
compared of a lot of the female leads in fantasy books. Um, I really loved her, but she definitely isn't, like, lovable, like, she's rough
Yeah.
around the edges lovable. You love her because she's so real,
Mhm.
and then Liam, at first, I'm like, I don't know, he is like a stone. And
Yeah.
then she kept chipping away at him, and I'm like, "Yes, yes, we're getting personality." I loved that, like, he had anxiety
Mhm.
and, like and you I feel like, yeah, we get that with main characters, but not I mean, I guess in some books we do, but I really liked his representation of anxiety and panic attacks and all of that, like, mixed into it. I mean, literally, he has the whole, like, universe on his shoulders, but
Yeah.
he felt relatable to me.
Yeah. Yep. I liked Diana. I liked her snarkiness. I mean, I just liked that it was a different kind of character instead of like, "Oh, I'm weak. I can't help myself. I need somebody," like
Or and, like, instead of, like, a vulgar gesture, she
yeah,
just said it, like, she
just like,
said
"Okay."
it, like
Yeah. And I liked Liam's character development. Like, I really liked what they did with him. So, yeah.
yeah, well, and at first, like, the flashbacks were really confusing because, like, you would get flashbacks, but then you would
Yeah.
also get visions, and you're like, "Wait,
Mhm.
what?"
Yeah.
I'm had I not been tandem reading,
Mhm.
I don't think I would have picked up on that because it
Mm-mm.
would abruptly change.
Yeah, and it's not like because in the graphic audio of Akatar, it changed, like, the tone of their voice, or it had, like, an echo on it or something.
Mhm.
So, there was no tonal difference in the flashbacks, in the visions. So, if it wasn't for the italics, I wouldn't have
Mhm.
known because they don't say anything about it.
And
So,
it's, like, not a new chapter or anything, it's
yeah,
like
no.
kinda this is how I pictured it, and it was kind of like That's So Raven, where she would
Yes!
just, like you're, like,
You
doing something and then you get a vision, and then you're
and
like,
go back
"Oh,
to normal.
okay, yeah," and then she's back and you're like, "Wait, what just happened?"
Uh-huh, and I don't think they ever said, like, "Hey, you spaced out," like, no time passes while
Yeah,
you have these visions, so it doesn't look like you're zoning out, like so there was no, "Hey, that was a flashback," or, you know.
well, and then some of the dreams, I was like, "Whoa,"
Mhm.
and then I'm like, "This has to be a dream," and I'm like, "Okay,
Yes.
it's a
Yeah.
dream."
Mhm. Yeah, that was confusing.
But I liked it. I liked that you
Yeah.
didn't know what to expect, but
Mhm.
I don't think I could have just listened to this book.
Yeah.
I actually liked both characters. I did too, and they're so I mean, I love a grumpy sunshine, and that's kind of like what this reminded me of, even though I mean, yeah, I guess, like, Liam is grumpy, but
Mhm.
so Diana is too to a certain
Yeah.
that, right?
Mhm.
So, I liked that they would flip-flop at times. Like, Liam knew when she was getting, like, dark and stressed out, and he would try to pull her out of that,
Yeah.
and so I liked that. I can relate to that because we're not all happy all the time, we're not all sad all the
Yeah.
time, and that's just, like, realistic is the flip-flopping.
Mhm.
I don't love Diana that much,
Mhm.
but Liam.
That's okay.
I at first, I was like, she is gonna be one of those characters that is gonna be, like, hard to love, and then you love her. She reminds me of who my cat is named after.
Mm. Yeah,
I feel like has everybody read ACOTAR here?
I know.
I mean, I feel like that's not a spoiler, it's in the first book. It's
Yeah.
Nesta. I feel like she kinda gave me Nesta vibes.
Mhm.
Diana reminded me of Bryce from Crescent City with her sarcastic comments, and in the beginning, so much reminded me, like, of them going to the club, of them dressing up, the way she dressed, like, her wearing heels, like, that kinda stuff definitely gave me Bryce too. April, you need to read Crescent City.
I know, but I have to finish Throne of Glass. That's why I didn't move on to it.
I know, that's what everybody says, but I
Stop.
don't know. I'm not seeing anything quite yet. I love Diana because she's so morally great. Yeah, and I feel like there's not a lot of female characters that are morally gray, because
Yeah.
normally you find out their story, so you're like, "Oh, that makes sense why they're that
Yeah.
way," but it was kind of obvious that people didn't like her. I literally commented on Discord like, stop trusting these friends." Like,
Mhm.
"Jeez, oh, Pete, how many times
Yeah.
do you have to learn your lesson that these people don't like you?"
Yeah.
And I think most of the time we find out like, "Oh, they're actually lovable and people really do like them." No.
Nope.
That wasn't Diana's case, and especially not that ending.
Mhm.
I like the way both were written opposite, but similar in so many ways. I also love that she's more the villain.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and they said that how many times, like, she is a monster.
Yeah.
And so you would see like, "Oh my gosh, she's this bad person," and then you would be like, "Oh, but look at how good she is." And then you'd be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, no, she is, like, a bit rough around the edges." And I like that. I love Morley
Mhm.
Gray. I love those type of characters. With this book, I liked all of the characters. Loved Logan, loved Drake and Ethan, loved all the side characters. Yeah, I really Logan and what's her name? Navera.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I was like, "Okay, whatever." Like, we're meeting Liam's people, and I was like, "Okay, Logan's kinda funny." He kinda reminds me of, like, Lucian at first, but
Mhm.
then when, like, you find out about his bond to Navera, and then I was like, "Don't kill him," and then she didn't, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
I was actually attached to him.
Yeah.
I think I was attached to Logan before I was Diana. Like, I
Hmm.
liked Diana, but I wasn't, like, attached, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Logan seems like such a good character."
Mhm.
I just love that Liam was this powerful god, but such a gentleman, like, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was so like, formal, I guess, like, going along with, like, the gentleman case, but and he was so naive too, like, all powerful, like, has
Mhm.
all this stuff, is the world ender, but doesn't know what the F word means.
Right. Yeah.
It's like he's also very sheltered
Mhm.
too, but he just tried to do, like, the cordial thing. I mean, he has the whole universe on his shoulders, but it keeps getting smaller with him destroying worlds and all.
Really? Yeah.
He's like, "I can't handle it. Destroyed,
Oof.
destroyed." Which it's so funny because 'cause we're talking about, like, how Diana is morally great while Liam literally destroyed a whole universe.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like, his whole world. I guess maybe not the whole universe. His whole his whole world.
Yeah.
Um, and I think oh my gosh, when they stayed at the house at the very end and it was Peter's and for whatever reason, I was writing down all the characters because there was quite a bit,
Mhm.
and, like, I wrote down, like, Peter, and then when they stayed at the family and they're like, "Oh, Peter was so good," and I was like, "Oh." The fact that this came back around.
Yep, didn't catch that one.
You didn't catch that?
Oh, no.
Oh, you're just like, "Oh, yeah, Peter, she killed."
Yeah, Peter, okay.
No, like, I was keeping track of everybody because, like, they were
Mhm.
I just figured they wouldn't say names if it wasn't
Yeah,
really, like, that important,
true.
and so when they, like, brought up it was Peter, I'm like, "Whoa." I love that. I love
Yeah.
and that's why I think, like, if I go back and read this, I'll pick up on
Mhm.
even more, and as the series goes on, you'll pick up on so much more.
Yeah.
This is a nice refresher for me. Hopefully, actually read the second one soon. I waited so long to start it. Yeah, the fact that I remember anything, even though it's only been a day, is kind of wild.
Mhm.
The first flashback was when I was driving to work and he had and he bangs another chick, and I was like, "What is going on?" I got road
That's funny.
That's
Mhm.
I was so confused. I was
Yeah.
like, "What's
What's
happening?"
happening? She just
Like
walked in? Oh.
like, he just decided while she's passed out he's gonna do this,
Yeah.
and then I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Yep, I was confused. Like, awkward.
I dig it. I literally wrote questions down and then I forgot to put them in this, but one of the questions that's not really, like it's really not much of a question, but it was like, blood oath or pinky promise?
Oh, funny.
Because they gave each other a blood oath, and then I was like, "You find out some fun stuff with these blood oaths, but the
Right.
pinky promise?
Yes,
Dead,
that was cute.
dead,
Mhm.
died." I ate that up.
Mhm.
So many of the visions were when the characters were alone or in dreams. I didn't listen, and if there's no indication, it would be really tough to listen.
Mhm.
Yeah, and, like, they would just be talking about something, and it's like, boom, next paragraph, completely
Yeah.
different, sidelines. If it would've been a different chapter or, like, before the chapter,
Mhm.
I just don't know if there's any way I could listen to it. I liked how Liam's mom says that he draws a picture of a monster, but what makes this a
Yeah.
monster just because it's different? Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Honestly, I didn't highlight enough of this, but then
Mhm.
I was like, I was gonna highlight the whole dang book at that like, the second
Mhm.
half of it. Naive and sheltered, he had
Listen, he was really old.
I didn't say in all aspects. But I mean, he acted so like, that was the thing is
Right.
that was one thing I did like is that they say that they go crazy from these visions and that anytime something like any trauma happens, because they're a god, they lose their humanity, and I
Mhm.
liked that because
Mhm.
current day Liam did not sound like he was one to have a good old time.
Right.
I mean, he was with Diana at the end, but what we knew of him was so different until we got those flashbacks, and then
Yeah.
we're like, "This is
Oh.
not the same guy, like, he has seen some stuff, not in a good way."
Mhm.
They both were morally gray, which is also so cool with this book. Yes,
Mhm.
because I feel like even though they try to make some characters morally gray, like, they aren't. There's always you wanna make them likable to a certain extent, and these
Mhm.
both had done some pretty awful things.
Yeah.
And not for, like, the sake of anything, except for what was a big theme was their own personal gains. And they were both willing to do, like, stuff that they felt because they were emotional.
Mhm.
Man, I love that blood oath. I thought the spice was so good in this. So
Mhm.
good. Like, it wasn't too much. It wasn't, like I really thought that they weren't gonna end up together at the end of this book, and I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes a slow burn is too slow, but I
Yeah.
thought this was, like, the perfect amount because I was just, like, itching to be like, finally, are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna kiss?" And then finally it happened, it was so good. Yes to all of Liam and his mom. I loved the pinky promise, it was so cute. I
Mhm.
know, but I don't know, the blood oath visions, man.
Yeah.
I highlighted 1 or 2 quotes and I was like, "I'm gonna need to not do this or I'm just gonna highlight the whole book." Yeah, that's I'm like
Mhm.
okay, well, in this paragraph and this paragraph, I'm like, "It's the whole book. It's the whole"
Yeah.
So, I mean, banking off of that, what was a favorite quote or scene? Honestly, the more I think about it, like, there was, like, the pinky promises. I loved the carnival. I love
Mhm.
carnival stuff to begin with. I mean, if you don't know me, I love theme parks, but I love county fairs, like, any type of vibe like that, I'm obsessed, and I thought that was, like, such a cute, like, connection. Um, One of the quotes I also highlighted at the very beginning, which I just liked of Diana, which actually makes me kind of sad now because um it was in reference to, Rick and Gabby, and Diana said, "If he breaks your heart, I'll eat his." And I loved
Mm.
that. I don't know why. It just kinda showed you, like, how she was, like, a monster because I think she would mean literally. She would literally eat his heart. It's not
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill him or I'm gonna go after him, I'll make him pay." No, it's like, "I will eat his heart
Yeah.
if you like, if he breaks yours." Um, so I loved that. I liked the, "It's okay to not be okay, Liam."
Mhm.
I love the protectiveness, like, "I will not let him have you." "You're s you're sweet when you're homicidal." Honestly, there were so many. I would just, like I said, I'm gonna start doing this. Like, "Now let's make you lethal." I love that he was, like, trying to make her stronger. "Love is the purest form of destruction there is." So true.
Mhm.
"I'd find you."
Oh, yes. Mhm.
Wow, this is so nice with my Kindle.
I
I need
know.
to read more on my Kindle.
Well, and I have the whole conversation about the flowers, highlighted, and the one that I have highlighted is she nodded before placing it back into her basket. In the right hands, yes, but give it a good home, a little care, and it can heal too. Because he
Mm.
said so it can hurt someone and kill. So that was sweet.
I liked that his name was from the flower with his
Mhm.
mom, and
Mhm.
because also I was like, "Liam? This boy knows nothing about the modern world, but his name's Liam."
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that was funny when uh I highlighted it because I liked this scene, but she said, just to be obnoxious, I got up and sat right next to Vincent. He glared at me but said nothing. Liam ignored my byplay when she was just aggravating Vincent so much because she just out of spite, like
yes.
just her true nature.
I was seriously wondering if they were even gonna kiss, get together, but when they did, it was perfection. Yeah. So I don't know what you're talking about, Yvette. Everyone else was like, "Get to the point!
Mhm.
Come on!" And Yvette's like, "Well, that was so fast." The carnival is the best scene ever. It seriously, I was not expecting it, and I loved every piece and morsel of it. I love how upset Liam was at the carnival. "The small cars are violent and they let children drive." I know, like,
So
he was just
funny.
mind blown at, like, the cotton candy, the
Hmm.
rides, everything. He was like, "What?" And they were there for so long, and he was
Hmm.
so irritated. I loved it.
So great.
Yeah, I cackled. I love when he rescued her and healed her and said, "You could have left me and saved the world," and he said, I
Yeah.
would never leave you." Yes.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah.
also that did scare me with the whole necromancy thing. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what? That's not how that works."
Yeah.
But I loved that he did it. I mean,
Hmm.
I love that she lived because, oh my gosh,
Oh
could you
yeah.
imagine having your heart literally ripped out? But then she did it to
Yeah.
herself. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
but do we think Liam would have actually saved them?
Right.
Because he's like, "I had a plan." It's like, "Did you?
But did you?
Did you?"
Right.
Because you seem to be underestimating everybody.
Yeah.
He also said he would rip her apart the
Mhm.
world for her. I love that. I
And
know.
I liked him when I liked when he said, "I will not let him have you."
Mhm.
S So, like, that was like, "No, not gonna happen."
And when he was getting so jealous of
Yes,
Drake, I was
that's
like,
so great.
"Yes." I love the protectiveness.
Yes.
Drake and Ethan were talking to Liam and told him not to let
Yes.
her fall in love with him unless he was ready to catch her. Yes.
Mhm, that was good.
I like that they were being, like, protective. They were the
Yeah,
only, like, dang, these friends of Diana, she needs to
yeah,
rethink the word friend. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. And, like, I think that's what I like too is you couldn't really trust anybody
Mhm,
in this, like, series, and
yeah,
that was stressful, and I loved it.
yeah.
I love the carnival scene and the gardens at the Vanderkay estate and anything with Liam and his mom, yes. Oh my gosh, when Liam went to the garden and was like, he was just scoffing at everything, like, "Ugh, this is awful," and, like,
Oh my
he
gosh.
hated everything about it, like, and then he's just like it's kinda like that, "I'm not moody. What are you talking about?"
Right. Mhm.
Oh, I lived for the bickering. They were like, hate each other, hate each other, hate each other, hate each other. "Oh, nice conversation. I died for you."
That that's so funny. I would die for Riley.
I mean, same. Isn't that how life is?
Yeah.
Just takes that one nice conversation and
Mhm,
lay my life for somebody.
mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was so slow. I mean, I personally thought it was slow, but I love it. I love slow burn. Even if it
Mhm.
would have gone to the next book, I would have instantly picked up
Yeah,
the next book. I don't think I could have waited anymore, but I was really happy I didn't have to.
yeah.
But, I mean, when you read a book in one day, that really just
Ugh.
changes timelines.
Yeah.
Best favorite quote was, "There are things I have done that make me wish I could claw the memories from my mind,
Mm,
but we grow, we learn, we do better." Yes, there was so many, like, good quotes about, like, overcoming regrets and
yeah.
overcoming, like, past things, and like, obviously, everybody has things they regret and they hold deep and they lose sleep years and years, or in this case, centuries over,
Mhm,
and that was such a great quote, and I loved it. I ate it
mhm.
up. See, sometimes I'm like, "Maybe this is 5 stars." I feel like if I were to reread it, it'd be 5 stars.
Yeah.
I think it was a long time of hate, but the transition wasn't slow enough for me.
That's funny.
I need you to give me, like, one of your, like, best
Oh my gosh.
recommendations of slow burn that isn't assistant to the villain. That's all I have to say. 'Cause
That's funny.
I just, like I think of that about, like, slow burn,
Mhm.
and, but we're not getting into that. Okay, what is one thing or 2, whatever you want, that you would change about this book?
Oh, no.
I have one thing. I have a couple things, but they all kinda go together. The chapters were too dang
Oh
long,
my gosh.
too dang long. There was one chapter that was, like, over 50 minutes long, and I'm like, "I cannot." If there are page breaks, new chapter. I don't care if there's 100 and some chapters.
Yeah,
Make it a chapter.
yeah.
Because there were so many times I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna read one more chapter," and then I'm like,
No.
40 minutes!
Yeah,
And even at, like, over 2x speed, it's like,
yeah.
"Okay, that's not what I meant.
Mhm.
Take backsies. I'll stop right here." Like,
Yep.
um, also, this is something that they can change quite easily. The audiobook, I really loved having because the names I would have gotten so stuck on the names. However, they needed to get a male narrator for Liam's parts.
Agreed.
Having only a female narrator for the whole thing,
Yeah.
very confusing, even with tandem reading.
Yep.
I thought she did a good job, but
Mhm.
there were so many times I'd be reading Liam's part, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then I'm like, "Oh, it's Liam, we're not in
Right.
Diana." Because I was like,
Yeah.
Why is he saying oh, wrong character."
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then, yeah, if it was gonna be audiobook only, suggest, like, some kind of, like, differential, like, tone or
Yeah.
something so that you know it's, like, different than
Yep.
the book, but shorter
Yeah.
chapters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's what I was like, "I only have, like, 10 more chapters," and it's like, "That's like 100 plus pages." I
Right.
can't do this. It was there were so many times, I'm like, "One more chapter," and I'm like, "How is it over a half an hour for every chapter?"
Right. Yeah.
Uh, well, that's not fair. Yeah, hi. I love slow burns, um, but there are some that have been too slow that I'm like, "Nope, I can't do it." When I reread it, I will probably move it to 5 stars. Yeah, I do think there's some things that when you first read it, it's hard not to get caught on, and
Yeah.
the beginning was really hard for me to get into, but now talking about it, I mean, I was, like, literally, like, kicking my feet at some of the bickering,
Mhm.
and so when
Yes.
something can enact such a, like, big emotion for me, I gotta boost it up.
Yeah.
Change the chapters and make them shorter, make the flashbacks a separate chapter. Yes.
Mhm.
I can't think of something I would change, and that is, like, perfection 5 stars right there.
Right.
I need shorter chapters. I don't do well. But that's, like, not even anything really with the book.
Yeah.
If I had the physical book, I would just, like, make my own chapters, like,
Right. Yeah.
anytime it had, like, the rings or the
Yes.
whatever symbol, new chapter.
Stop. Right. Mhm.
I don't know why, it's a mental thing, and I think having it on my Kindle where I couldn't see how big it was, also,
Mhm.
I'm like, "How much farther do I have to go for this one chapter?"
Yeah.
So that's when I was looking at my audiobook, and I'm like, "I'm not even
Ah.
halfway in a chapter."
Mhm.
But I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we won't go for too much longer. So we kinda talked about this, but what books would you recommend that are similar to this one? Crescent City, definitely Crescent City. Um, Now I'm, like, literally blanking on every book I've ever read.
Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna go with Crescent City for right now.
Yeah. I would, just because of the technology and stuff with the fantasy and all that stuff. Like the Lunar Chronicles are awesome because they are based on fairy tales. Like the first one is Cinder, but they're not like just duplicated. They're not the same fairy tale told in cyborg world.
Mhm.
Like
They're
it's
not
still got
all
a twist.
retellings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Scarlet, the cover made me think Merida, and then
Mhm.
I'm halfway through the book and I'm like, "Oh, wait a second. This is Little Red Riding Hood." Like
Mhm.
there's a cuz I just thought they changed the bear to the wolf. Like I didn't put two and two together that it was Riding Hood. So, anyways, that's a
But it's
really good
all, like,
series.
a continuing series too. It's not,
Yes.
like, just a retelling of each, like,
Yeah.
standalone book, it's a series. And
Yeah.
they are lengthy too.
Yes.
I just finished Scarlet this past month, and I was like, "This is a long book."
It's a long book. Yeah.
That one, if you like it drug out a little bit, that one, I
Yep.
did feel like it drug out.
It did.
Um, but, why am I blanking on, like, literally every what a Filthy Rich Fae, I think if you like the modern, um, type stuff, I definitely think that's, like, a modern ACOTAR, like, the plotline to
Mhm.
ACOTAR was very similar to Filthy Rich Fae, but I really did like that one.
Mhm.
Um, Blood of Hercules, the more I think they're fairly similar. Yeah, or just even, like, modern fantasies, I mean, we talked about that a little bit before.
Mhm. Cruel Prince.
Yeah, The Cruel Prince. Trying to, like, look at all my books now. I can't wait to get back into Crescent City. I loved Crescent the first one. I still have the second 2 to read, but everyone said I have to finish Throne of Glass, so
Mhm.
here we are. Um, and then will you be continuing with this series? And the 4th book comes out in October, and apparently it's one like, we just finished 1 of 7, which I hope it doesn't take her, like, years and years to come out with the final 3, but I definitely will be reading. I'm having a hard time not picking up the next book right now, but I really want to because it's all fresh in my head. They left on that huge
Mhm.
cliffhanger of, like, what's gonna happen. I mean, we haven't even really talked about the end, but I knew something was gonna happen with Caden. I mean, we knew that it was gonna end
Mhm.
with Caden. I was not expecting Gabby, like, him to kill
Yeah.
Gabby.
Yeah, me either.
Not in the 1st book, at
I
least.
just figured she'd just be captured, like, you
Well,
know.
and then I was like, "Poor Rick."
Yeah.
Like, she had to get, like, separated from Rick and pretty much, like, leave him, and then
Mhm.
she's gone now, and it was on television,
Yeah.
which I guess now if we're this isn't like a book, well, maybe it is. I don't know. Has anybody ever watched True Blood?
Mm-mm.
The old series? Oh my god, it's so good. Matt and I rewatch it every year. That is like modern, it's in Louisiana, and it's vampires came out with a synthetic blood, so instead of being, like, hidden from the world, they come out, and then
Mm.
as the series continues, there's more and more creatures, and they didn't know that they're actually there, and it's MA, so it's very spicy and
Yeah.
lots of stuff, but I think it was HBO.
Mhm.
It was an HBO show. That also reminds me, like, of this to a certain extent with different things, but that one's more of, like, an adult Twilight to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Some scenes I got Vampire Diaries vibes, so
I have not watched Vampire Diaries.
you need to. You just need it. That's what you need to watch it with Matt.
So my yeah,
You have to make
Matt
it through. Get to season 3. Get to season 3.
Matt loves it, and I'm just like,
Exactly.
"This is
Come
rough
on.
for me to watch. It is rough for me to watch." I think if I would've gotten into it when I was younger, I would've eaten it up,
Mhm.
but man, that was hard.
Oh, yeah.
Nathan was even this I know, that's what I was like, I was getting, like, kinda confused, I'm like, "Same name?"
Mhm.
Uh, wouldn't that be cra I would love it if someone one day had completely different, like, fantasies, but then they were actually connected. Like,
That'd be
different
cool.
authors. I need
Different
different
authors, yeah.
authors to collaborate on something like that, because like, wouldn't that be like
Mhm. Yeah.
I need that to happen. Holly Black has a three-part series of modern fairy
Mm.
tales. Tithe is one of them. Those are really good. I do like Holly Black. That is good to know. Uh, no, I'm not gonna keep reading the book I already started.
I
That broke
Yeah,
my heart about Gabby. I know,
I
I was
know.
like, "Hello?" Like, that was the whole point. The whole
Yeah,
point was for her to be protected. I knew that something was gonna happen with her, but I did
yeah.
not think death. Did
Nope,
not think death.
nope.
Not exactly similar plots, but the book with Morley Gray, female main character that I like was The Shadows Between Us and Daughter of the Pirate King.
Mhm.
Love Daughter of the Pirate King. I have
Me
it right
too.
here on my shelf. Um, and if you're looking for a good pirate summer
Mhm.
read, I am just in my pirate we've just been rewatching, like, Pirates of the Caribbean and, like, that whole series. So good. Love it. Wicked Lovely series is really good by Melissa Marr.
Mm.
It's Fae in a Modern World as well. I've heard of that one. I thought Gabby was gonna die right at the beginning, so I was surprised she made
Oh
it
gosh.
this far. She was too genuine for this world. I mean,
Yeah,
she was so pure.
yeah.
I love vampire the acting
But you have to get past it. It's so good.
is it's gonna be one of those things like reality TV. I don't like reality TV.
Mhm.
But once like, every I don't know, like, year and a half, 2 years, I'll sit down and I watch it and I can't stop. I
Mhm.
can't stop. And I just feel like I have to watch it, but Matt will watch it, like, anytime in the middle of the season, and I just, like I have no idea what's going on, and I'm just like, "I don't know who these people are, but I can tell you I don't
Mhm.
like them." And I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able I don't.
I'm on that same bandwagon,
It's
Wendy.
not high. It's not high on my list.
Oh, yeah.
The Mortal Instruments is amazing in a modern fantasy, definitely YA though. I if it's well written, I like a good YA. Okay, well, see, you don't like Vampire Diaries because it's a slow burn.
That's so funny. So true.
I haven't ever watched it in order.
Mhm.
I don't even think I've watched a single episode, but I've seen parts. Who is it? Elena?
Yeah.
I can't stand her or any part of her
So
whatsoever.
funny.
That's like
Oh,
anytime she's on, I'm like, "Bleh, how can you watch this?"
that is so funny.
Yeah, Damon and Elena. What's you see, you didn't I'm not sold.
Not sold. Mm. You would be sold on Damon.
It's a huge series, but amazing. Lots of books and spinoffs. Oh, I do
Yeah.
like that. That's how
Yeah.
I feel like this book is gonna be was this series was 7 books? It can't
Mhm.
possibly be about Diana and Liam the
Right.
whole time.
Yeah.
There's no way. Elena is basically a water fountain.
That is so funny, Yvette. Oh my gosh.
I don't know what that means.
That's why you have to watch it so you can understand.
Can you, like, explain that like I'm Liam right now? Because 'Cause I'm not.
Yes, hit play on season 1, episode 1.
Wait, it's on Netflix, isn't it?
I mm,
We're
one
getting
of
rid of
them.
Netflix. I literally just had a big talk about that to Matt.
That's so
Oh, I'm
funny.
getting rid of Netflix this month.
I think it's on Peacock. I can't remember.
Well, we won't have
It's
that soon
somewhere.
either. We have everything right now, and I'm like, "I don't watch TV. Why do we have any of this
Yeah.
stuff?"
Yeah.
When Matt's home, we have to have everything 'cause all he does is watch TV nonstop.
Mhm.
When he's back at work, I'm like, "What's TV?" I have a TV in my craft room, and I haven't turned it on in, like, 8 months.
That's so funny. 'Cause you listen to audiobooks, right? When you're working and stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Either music, podcasts, or audiobooks. It's just
Mhm.
easier than trying to, like, constantly look up and see if I missed something.
Yeah.
Getting me to watch TV is really actually hard.
Mhm.
And then I just watched The Last of Us, and now I'm like, "Cool." There was 7 episodes, and now I have to wait a couple years for another season. I'm over TV.
Oh my gosh.
It's worse than books at this point. Why not? Throne of Glass is 7 books. I consider Throne of Glass 8 books, but look at I'm still stuck in the middle of that one too.
That's funny.
I love long series. It's just we, like, read so many books for this and the other book clubs that it's so hard for me to get through a series. Meanwhile, Beth is over here reading everything, just waiting for
Right.
the author to come out with the next book. I have the opposite
Mhm.
problem. I read the first one and then I'm like, "I have no idea what happened." The series that's interconnected with different authors, I need to find the name though, I can't remember it. I know LJ Andrews is one of the authors and G. Bailey.
Mm,
There's someone that's done this? I love that. I
that's
mean, I'm
cool.
not surprised, but that is incredible.
That's awesome.
But I also want to forget this information and someone just to randomly tell me to, like, read one series and then randomly tell me to read another with no context, and then so my mind can be like, "What?"
There
You
you
know?
go. Yep.
Like, be like, "What?" 'Cause I just think that'd be so cute.
Mhm.
Cool. Not a question. I don't know. Is it gonna take you 5 more months? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am so much worse than that. I'm so slow.
Like, we haven't read book 2 of Spark of the Everflame yet.
I know, and I'm dying.
I know.
Literally, Fantasy Fangirls, like,
Yes.
every time I get a notification, I'm like, "I need to read that series."
Mhm.
And then I look at my pile of, like, 8 fantasies I'm reading this month, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"I don't know if I will squeeze that in." Um Hey guys, I only have 1 book left of Trial of the Stone Queen
Ooh,
series. Okay, and I was hoping to get to the second one this month or, like, last month. That did not happen either. I literally that's what I
I
thought
know,
of.
because it was a green cover and it would've
Mhm.
worked so
I even had
well.
the audiobook on Hoopla.
Oh, no.
It just
Ugh.
I finished Spark of the Everflame until the new one comes out. No,
Wow.
I'm just giving you such a hard time because Wendy, you and Beth are like, I am going to just like binge the series right now, and I
Mhm.
can't. I just struggle with it. Ick. What is ick? So I do good. What are you icking about? You do very well. I am caught up on ACOTAR.
That's funny.
I'm trying to think what other series. I have a series tracker in my,
Akatar and Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing, yeah, Fourth Wing.
Boom.
I read Fourth Wing, like, 2 days after it comes out.
Right.
My I have a series tracker in my reading journal, and I kid you not, it's, like, open spread, and then I have to add a
Mm.
whole 'nother spread.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so bad. Forgotten Kingdoms is a series. Pretty sure they're all in
Mm.
KU. Oh, that's awesome. I need to write this stuff down. Um, did I see Still Tastes Like the Wind?
Ah, 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 ah,
That was
ah.
the most fun thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
Um, let me just add another book series onto my list. Okay, this was so much fun.
Yeah.
I have, one more well, I have 2 more announcements, so hold up. Okay. Happy early birthday to
Aw,
April. I mean, her
thank
birthday
you.
isn't until the 5th, so we got a couple days, but
Yeah.
what are the chances that, like, the week of, we get to celebrate with you?
Oh,
So,
thank you.
happy early birthday.
Thanks.
I
That's
hope you have
awesome.
a great, happy week, and I'm so proud of you for finishing.
I'm so
You were
happy I
here.
did.
I
Huh.
was still gonna wish you happy birthday if you weren't on here discussing with me, but
Well, thanks. Even if I didn't finish the book, you're still gonna wish me happy
yeah,
birthday.
early,
Yeah.
early.
That's awesome.
If you didn't
Thank
finish, I'd be like,
you.
Maybe. Maybe I'll wish
Maybe.
you."
Maybe.
Yes, happy
Aw, thank you.
birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I know.
Woohoo.
Her name's confusing. April name, June birthday.
Yeah,
I ha
yeah,
I
sorry.
literally had to, like, program that in my head.
Yeah. I asked my mom one time, I'm like, "So why did you name me April if I was born in June?" She goes, "Because I don't like the name June." I was like, "Okay, fair enough. Fair enough."
Well
Solid question.
well, it's a good thing you weren't born in April and she named you
Mhm.
June because she wouldn't like it.
Exactly, right?
Problem
Mhm.
solved.
Uh-huh.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Wait,
Shocker. My new video is uploaded.
I was gonna say, I was like, "Wait, actually, she got this done." I haven't watched it yet either, though, so
Yep. I literally filmed it on the 30th at midnight. And I can tell that I'm tired, and I even put some bloopers at the end, so you have to watch all the way through, because it was quite funny. I finally was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, it's up and I'm so excited. So, yeah.
I can't wait to watch it.
Mhm.
You were born 2 months late?
No, I was born close to on time. My mom just yeah, she just liked the name April. She knew my name was gonna be April when she got pregnant, so
That's
she's
so
weird.
I mean, that's so funny that it would have been convenient if you would have been in April, but then it would have been,
Mhm.
like, such a cliche.
I graduated with a girl whose last name is one letter off from mine, but she was the April that was born in April.
No, you need to clarify. 1 letter different, first and last.
Yes, first and last.
First
Only
and
one
la
letter
they had
different.
first and last name almost identical.
Yeah.
What are
So,
the
it
chances?
was crazy.
When was
It
her
was
birthday?
weird. Her birthday's in April.
Oh, okay.
So, she was the legit April. And she was, like, valedictorian and, all those
Oh,
things. So, yeah,
cliche.
I liked getting confused with her. She probably didn't like getting confused with me.
Yes, that April.
Yes,
Yes,
I
I'm that.
am. That I'd get called down to the office and I'm like, "Oh no, what happened?" And then they're like, "Hey, we have an award for you." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. That's really not me."
But still, that blows my mind. Like, what are the chances?
Yeah.
First and last name, like, well, I mean, like,
Mhm.
one letter different. Like,
One
that's
letter different, but it sounds the same.
yeah.
If you wanna know, you can message me and I'll tell you, but,
It's just
yeah, it's crazy.
when you told me that, like, I was randomly thinking about that the other day.
Mhm. Like, what in the world?
'Cause
Yeah.
see, I graduated with 3 Sams, right? Well,
Mhm.
there were 3 of us. Out of 80 kids in 1
Wow.
grade, I mean, that's a lot, but 2 of us were Samantha and 1 was Samuel, but everyone said Sam, so
Yeah,
to me, like, that gets, like, annoying and a lot, but could you imagine first and last name?
it's crazy.
Oh,
It's crazy. We were in the same classroom in 5th grade, and then
oh,
the
the
rest of the time we were just at the same school.
well, and you couldn't even be, like, April last
Right.
name because, like, it just doesn't
Yeah.
or you
It's
know how, like, you do your initial?
Uh-huh.
You'd have to do, like, middle names
It was literally April with an I and April with an E.
for middle names.
For just no, just
Oh.
for our reference,
Oh.
because that was the only difference in us. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
her middle name was something else. It was a basic name. But anyways, it was like April Ann or something like that. I
Yvette
don't
is
know.
killing me. Yeah. Oh,
That's
Wendy
funny.
checked the other day. Yeah, she got it done. I'm so proud of
Yeah.
her. I
I just
saw it when
uploaded this afternoon.
I saw it when I got on for this, so I'll watch it after. I know,
Aw.
that's when she, like, sent it to me, and I'm like, He's got a lot going on right now." But I'm so glad you got it done, and she finished. Look
Yes.
at her, you're just, like, ticking off the boxes.
Boom. I got it done today.
I actually love the name June, especially after The Enemy.
Ooh, I'll have to read that. I haven't read that yet.
I
I
haven't
wanna
read it.
read The Match.
I read The Match
You
too.
did? I
I
wanna
was gonna
read
say, I
that.
like the name June as well, but I think that's
Mhm.
funny that your mom's like, "No."
No, don't like it.
Yeah. April 'tis,
Tis
April
April
so,
so April
April
sweet. Hey, yep, that's with April with an I and April with an E. Yep.
dead.
That's so funny.
Okay, and then we do have a bit of an announcement. We are prepping ahead because I don't know how this is possible between the 2 of us, to be honest, but we have decided on the rest of the year's book club picks. So if you don't like
Yay!
them, I wanna hear it.
Right. And this way, you don't read them before we get there.
Yeah, I mean, I want no excuses after this point. I don't want the, "I finished point 0.5 seconds ago." Just kidding.
Right.
I know we
Mhm.
will all procrastinate, but that's okay.
Mhm.
But at least you will have a heads up to
Yep.
plan your procrastination.
Yes.
So,
That's the best kind of procrastination.
I know, that's what I live for. I know what's gonna happen, but I will
Yes.
decide how quickly I have to make it
Right.
happen.
Yes.
So, our July's pick so we'll take the rest of this month off, and then July we'll be back for On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin, which is you probably have seen it. It's a really cool cover.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Is it the
Look at
right
that
way?
dragon. Yeah, it's the right way.
Okay. Like, I've seen a couple people reading this.
Mhm.
I will say the one thing when I was looking up all of the covers, literally everyone is like describes every like new fantasy as like Akachar and Fourth Wing
Yeah.
people are gonna love it, and I'm like, "Okay, you can't say that for every single one,"
Right.
but this one
Exactly.
is called Bloodwing Academy, so it is, like, school-based,
Mhm.
um, so oh gosh, we'll catch up on comments before I announce I did July separate, and then I have the rest of the years, on their own thing just so you guys know, but I will post it on Instagram so you all have a heads up. You can decide when you're gonna spend your money, get your holds.
Yeah.
It was actually perfect timing because I think the audiobook from this isn't available until sometime this month.
Oh, nice.
And then that happened with, like, one of the other books. I noticed that you can pre-order the audiobook, and I'm like, "Oh, good. All of the audiobooks are gonna come out before
Right.
we read." We planned that out perfectly.
Look at that. We did it on purpose.
Um, Look at whoa. I know, we're never this prepared.
Mm.
We both are procrastinators, it's really bad.
Uh-huh.
So exciting. I hope you guys really like it. Still gonna happen, we're all gonna procrastinate. Sounds good. I'll try not to read too far ahead. I'm terrible about that. I mean, as long as, like, once you start chatting, it starts coming back to you, it's all good. But I am just glad that you read it, period, because that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Now I just need to not read them all at once.
Right.
No,
You
you
have to
gotta wait.
wait.
I know.
You have to wait.
Beth and Wendy are complete opposites. That one's on your TBR. Yes, I've seen a lot of people starting to pick it up. I will save
Mhm.
it. Yes, I know the cover looks really, uh, exciting. Yay, super excited. I didn't with the Book of Azrael, though. I almost didn't finish it again.
Right.
It's it's one or the other, I understand.
Mhm.
Okay, now for September and for November. So for September, we're gonna do Metal Slinger. That book has been out for a hot minute. I
Yeah.
have been wanting to read it desperately, but I
Mhm.
also have told myself that I can wait now until September. Or maybe, I'll read it and read it again, who knows?
Yeah.
And then November's pick will be Dire Bound. So if you need pictures, this is Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder. I have the actual book. I don't know why I'm showing you a picture of it, but and then Dire Bound.
Yeah. I'm so
Wait,
excited for these 2.
that's by Sable Sorensen. Wow, that is not an easy name for me to say. Sable Sorensen. Uh, that one is obviously like a werewolf one. So I'm excited for that.
Mhm.
We haven't done anything. We've had ones where like have we had werewolves in as characters in any
I
of
don't
them?
think so.
We are overdue
We are. We need one.
for a werewolf book or um yeah, any type of werewolf book. Hey, I still came 5 months later, and I'm so glad you did. We're so glad you're here and that you remembered literally anything about it because that's my problem. If I read too far ahead, I just cannot remember anything. Metal Slinger. Did you read that, Wendy? That one's also on my TBR. Uh, is that the trad with the trad edition comes out?
It's not saying.
Oh,
Let me
uh,
see.
yeah, okay. I think the whole reason I bought Metal Slinger is because, yes, it was getting picked up by a publisher,
Mm.
and I wanted to have the indie
The
copy.
Yeah, the 2nd book comes out September 4th of this year.
Perfect of Metal Slinger?
Yeah,
Perfect. We'll read the first one, and then we'll have the second one. You're
sounds like
welcome.
it. Or I don't know. I'm confused. But anyways,
Are you sure that's not the first book? Because it is
it
getting
might
pi
be the first book, the UK edition. Uh, Sorry, my AirPods died. Um,
um,
the UK hardcover edition is going on sale September 4th, 2025. And I'll also have a light wielder sneak peek. So
okay.
maybe. So I
As
don't
long
know.
as, like, people are able to get it.
Yeah.
Which I think all of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, I think we looked at that.
Yeah. But I noticed the audiobooks were not coming out until, like, right before. I know it got picked up, so I'm not sure it's available to purchase again. I don't think
Mm.
the physical book is. That was why I bought it. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I was like, "Why did I buy this right now?" You can still get it. Oh, no, pre-order, but it'll be released this month.
Okay.
June 17th, it's released. So you'll have time before September. This is another reason we want to give people a heads up because they're not necessarily um older books. They are a little bit harder to get a hold of, but I do think they're all on um Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, I hope so. I'm really excited to
Yeah.
see how they all are. Watch now, my book club is gonna get picked these before we get to yours.
Right. Yeah.
Wendy's book club, it looks so much fun. She has an in-person book club, which is just a little too far for me to go to. I've never heard of Diary Bound. April heard of it, and I was like, "We haven't done werewolf yet, and this
Yeah.
sounds super intriguing." Also, though, it's like, "Oh, if you love Fourth Wing," and I'm like, "Okay,
Right.
everything can't be Fourth Wing." Jeez, oh Pete. But I think that one is also haven't read my Metal Slinger yet. Well,
Oh,
I
good.
mean, put that back for a couple months.
Yes.
That's the hard thing too now is, like, I keep, like, looking at it like, "Let's pick it up." It's like, we have a long time.
Mhm.
I used Metal Slinger for my last credit. Well, now you gotta wait.
Hey, at least it's just like soonish.
September.
Yeah, it's basically here already.
That's why I love this book club. I've not heard of any of these. I,
Good.
just that they weren't all I just wish they were all unfinished series.
That's
That's
funny.
why you haven't heard of them.
Right. That's so funny.
It's still on KU, so it should be okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that even though it's getting picked up, it's still available, but like I said, it said June 17th. I tried to double check everything, and even though, like, a lot of them were coming out, like, this month or before we read them, they should all come out before we read them,
Mhm.
but I'm excited. On Wings of Blood will be Audible exclusive, though.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
need to use my credit for that.
However, I'm not saying this I have noticed that Hoopla has been
Sure.
getting some Audible exclusives, but I don't know how long that goes for. But yes,
Mhm.
if you guys have a credit and you want the audiobook, the only place you're gonna be able to get it is on Audible for now.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't trust anything. I sometimes like they use it and I'm like, I can't get it anywhere else. And then I will use a credit and then all of a sudden it's on Hoopla and Libby and I'm like, well, so much for that.
Mhm.
But anyways, I'm so glad you guys were able to join and is so proud of you guys for finishing. This was a wild
Yay!
one. And I'm so glad everybody enjoyed it. This was so fun. Thank you guys for being here. I hope to see you in July. Oh my gosh. That seems like so far and so close at the same time.
Yeah.
Fourth Wing with werewolves, basically the same thing.
Right.
Exactly. Except, do the werewolves ride the dragons? Just
Ooh.
I think any like academic fantasy now is fourth
Yeah.
wing instead of Harry Potter, fourth wing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, the Audible exclusive is normally for at least a year contract, but was it with Quicksilver? Quicksilver wasn't out that long, was it? It's so hard with some of these books you
Right.
don't hear of, like they're like indie published and then they get picked up, but I mean, I am not gonna assume it's gonna be anywhere else, so I would use your credits if you have them. If you guys wanna read it. I mean, that's completely up to you. Thank you guys for so much. Thank you so much for being here. We had such a great time. I love you guys. Yes, it was such a good book pick. I'm so glad you guys picked it. Save a horse, ride a dragon. Maybe we'll be riding werewolves.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a discussion. Would you
Mhm.
rather have a dragon or a werewolf? I mean,
There
I
you
think
go.
most of us will still pick a dragon, but
Yes.
you never know. Maybe that book will change it.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. Love you so much. We'll see you hopefully soon. Go watch April's video, everyone, right
Oh,
now.
thanks. Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.